Experts say cell phones are carcinogenic. CNN has got a report coming out. World Health Organization has now officially listed mobile phones use in the same carcinogenic hazard category as lead, engine exhaust, and chloroform. We're going to be going over all of that today. They knew this back in the 1980s with the studies that were done at that time. Now, coming up, I'm also going to get into a host of other issues. Big Sis pre-crime system to scan Americans for malintent. Footage of Western troops confirms criminality of war on Libya. We're going to be going over all of that today. New Mexico Supreme Court lets cops grab guns during stops. That's right, they can take your guns. No criminality, legal guns. These state Supreme Courts are really getting tyrannical. Very important news on the economic front. But over the weekend, I saw footage from the RT show Adam and the Man with Adam Kokesh. I've been a guest on there a few times. It's a great show. It's got Luke Rudowski as a contributor as well. And Adam is a American activist talk radio host. Kokesh was a corporal, United States Marine Corps, and a veteran of the Iraq War. He is an outspoken opponent of U.S. military intervention in Iraq. Since 2010, Kokesh has hosted, again, the TV show Adam versus the Man. And he also hosts a show out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. AdamVersusTheMan.com is the website. But the reason I wanted to get him on is last week they tried to go to the memorial, the Jefferson Memorial, and just quietly dance. I guess kind of like Charlie Veach and the Love Police, to illustrate no matter how loving what you do is, they want to arrest you. And I can't play the whole 10-minute clip here, but it's up on Infowars.com. It's up at RT, Adam versus the Man. But they ask him, they go, what's the law? And they say, I'm not going to tell you. There is no law. Okay? And they body slam him into the ground. We're going to play that clip in a moment. But the issue here is, compare this to Texas, where I march in with over 100 people, yell and scream in the politicians' faces, and they understand that's their place. Just like in Madison, Wisconsin. In a free country, the government fears the people don't fear the government. And things are becoming completely 180 degrees in the direction that they should be. And so joining us is Adam Kokesh. Adam, what made you decide to do this demonstration?
I just felt like dancing. We were challenging the cops to a dance-off, and apparently they didn't like our move. So they decided to end it a little bit forcefully. But if you see the video and you see what happened, I think we made our point, and we proved that the Parks Police, well, as I would say to one of the officers there, nice badge, sorry about your penis. But they, they're not very good dancers, and they're obviously compensated for something. But I think you really hit the nail on the head here about the nature of government and fear, and why this is such a powerful action, and why we have now thousands of people coming back to the Jefferson Memorial next Saturday on June 4th, the anniversary of Tiananmen Square, to dance again and show them that their court rulings and their laws are irrelevant. When we want to go out, we want to have fun, and we want to assert our rights, we're going to do it. Whether or not they're going to stop us, it's not going to matter. And we show the true nature of the police force with this. It's they want us to be afraid, and I think the police officers there, they knew they were being filmed. They wanted to have forceful arrests. They wanted to show people getting hurt. They wanted
to show us they were the boss. What about this? Some of the peaceful demonstrators who were doing German waltzes silently with the guy with his girlfriend, they slam him in. They're slamming their,
like swaying back and forth.
That's right. They arrested people, for folks watching on TV, for just barely moving now does not show proper respect to our gods. But expanding on that, Adam, then some of you dare say, what am I being charged with? What have I done wrong? And they say, shut up, and begin slamming people against the wall for then daring speak to the gods, even while they're under arrest. And police now admit they use tasers as a punishment as well.
Well, it's not exactly the gods, but pretty close. We were at the Thomas Jefferson Memorial, and it was really cool. At the end of this event, the statue of Thomas Jefferson came alive and started shooting lasers out of its eyes, and he killed all the police officers. They were vaporized instantly. So at least there was justice served at the Jefferson Memorial on Saturday. But no, we're talking about the foremost defender of speech and liberty in America's history. But as I've been finding out from people commenting on my Facebook page, it's been really ironic. But Thomas Jefferson, incidentally, was a large promoter of dancing. and liked to play the violin and would spontaneously bust out his fiddle and encourage people to dance. It's just this amazing, the irony to this. It just keeps getting compounded more.
No, I
and
understand,
more,
Adam. Let's expand on this now. A few dozen of you were there, it looks like, where this happened. Now you're coming back this next weekend, and you're asking for more people to show up. I think this is very important. Tell us the date and time and why you're doing this.
Well, yeah, because the Hitler meme on YouTube, people putting their own captions on that scene from the movie where Hitler's angry with all of his generals. They did one about this. They actually mentioned you in it, Alex Jones. It said Alex Jones would have real credibility if Kokesh's people are able to challenge this authority here. And, that's what this is about. It's about peaceful civil disobedience. We're going to go back. We're going to dance. We're going to tell them it doesn't matter. But in that video, they're saying, look, we hate and we poison their air and their water. We steal their daughters' vaginas at the airports. And now they won't just stop dancing. And I think that's the power of an event like this. So next Saturday at noon on June 4th, we are going back to the Jefferson Memorial. We're asking people to join us. Just join us in dancing silently with your headphones on. We're not going to interrupt any tourists that might be there, their ability to enjoy the memorial the way that the judge who decided that this was illegal would see fit. We're going to do our thing. We're going to express ourselves. We are going to pay homage to Thomas Jefferson, not the way that the government sees fit, but the way that we see fit. And what we really revealed with what we did about this that is inspiring so many people to be involved, why we know we're going to have way more dancers backing us up for round 2 of this dance-off with the Parks Police, is...
well, that's right, Adam. You've got to illustrate the absurdity by illustrating how absurd they are.
The idea that the police force is there to keep you safe or to protect you from terrorists or to chase down criminals, those are just excuses for the two true, real purposes of the police state for the government, which is to generate revenue for the government and to control the population. And that act was really laid bare by what we did and the actions of the police there on Saturday.
Adam, let me ask you a question, and then we're going to play a clip and call you back on a landline here, or at least try to, so we can hear you clearer. Have you seen the footage of the way the state police, Capitol Police in Texas, honored free speech, honored the First Amendment?
All right, hold on. We're just losing. Right, I'm in the RT studios right now. We just so happen after the RT operation in here, we have an FBI office upstairs, so we might be getting a little bit of interference. So why don't you go ahead and play that clip, and I'll stay on the line and get that number, and I'll be able to get you back on a landline here.
Okay, we'll call you right back, Adam. We're going to go ahead and play this clip of the folks dancing, and then once they started arresting members that were dancing, Adam and others would just barely move their arms like they were grooving a little bit, and the cops would run over, and they look, most of them like 12-year-olds on power trips, slam them down to the ground, jump on them, and then once they had them in handcuffs, they would shove them against the wall if they dared talk. And I also wanted to ask Adam, I've been to D.C. twice in the last few years, and every time the police, the security guards that they have out in public places, treats you like you're in North Korea. I mean, they scream at you with hatred like you have murdered their children. And they've obviously been told, run the slaves into submission, break their will. And that's what this is all about. Let's go ahead and play that clip. Here it is.
We're insulting each other. So we're stopping. We're stopping. We're stopping. You are not arresting us for standing
for what? Here it is.
You didn't even give me a warning.
Dancing in a public area.
You didn't give me a warning.
And then the footage goes on. I suggest you watch the whole clip. It's AdamVersusTheMan.com or Infowars.com. It's up on both sites. That once they get them in that position, then if they dare speak back to their kings, they're physically attacked. Land of the free, home of the brave. You can tell the government is here to let us know that we basically better step and fetch it. Now, Adam, you live in D.C. now, so did I just have bad luck the last 2 times I was there to be 200 yards from the Washington Memorial videotaping for B-roll and to have people run up and threaten to arrest me, or videotape from across the street at a park, the Library of Congress,
I wish I could say that was bad
Supreme
luck.
Court?
or that was because people, you know, especially would know who you are here, but they do that to anybody who's a threat in D.C. That's just how it works. That's how it's set up. It's intended to suppress dissent. So that
but I want to be clear. I'm clean cut.
Happen in D.C.
Listen, I'm clean cut with a national news crew. Just a couple guys with cameras on parks, anywhere, on sidewalks, and they run over and get in your face and say you can't videotape. And then the production crew said, funny, we went to the D.C. government and asked for permits, and they say we're a permit-free city. So, see, you got to get a permit that doesn't exist, Adam.
Well, I would never attribute to conspiracy what can be adequately explained by government incompetence, and that is certainly in a balance here with the confusion between 13 different agencies or so that have jurisdiction within the District of Columbia, but they all have, you know, the same law enforcement police state mentality, the same intent of suppressing rights and making sure that troublemakers stay out of the way of the politicians doing their thing, screwing over the rest of America.
Let me ask you this, because your phone was cutting out and you couldn't hear me. Have you seen our storming of the Texas Capitol?
Yes.
And how can you...
We played a clip of that on Adam versus the Man after it happened. I was very excited that you did something like that, and very glad, because we covered it in terms of, you know, Rick Perry not having a spine to stand up to the federal government. He's about to run for president. I mean, should the Republican Party be supporting such a supporter of the federal government over states' rights? That's pretty offensive, and I was really glad that you were there to call that out and stick it to him for that.
Sure. The reason I raise it, though, is illustrating our state police showing how Government Servants Act, honoring our boisterous, you know, in-their-face activity versus you guys, what they did to you in D.C. I mean, the two different Americas.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And this is something that I didn't expect to be so compelling, but it's kind of striking now, the significance of this, you know. Obviously, if you look at the footage, I'm not much of a dancer. And if there was such a thing as a legal definition of dancing, the cops there were just as guilty of it as we were. But a lot of people are saying, well, you know, even if there is a legal definition of dancing, there is no way that Adam Kokesh can be guilty of this, because the video clearly demonstrates that I can't dance. The thing is, about it being about dancing, I know it's ridiculous. But the reason I mentioned that Hitler video is because it really lays it bare, and it talks about you and your message. And it's like, if you say, come protest Monsanto, come protest the war, come protest the president, come, you know, it doesn't work. You know, and I've been doing that too, and that's the thing that I've been blown away by the power of this, that I never expected it to take off the way it has. Our video that we put up was the second one that got on YouTube. It's already over 650,000 views right now. The thing is, yesterday we weren't even the top viewed video in news and politics on YouTube. We were the top 3 viewed videos on news and politics. It has been reposted. It is going truly viral. People all over the world now are organizing events to dance in solidarity with us on next Saturday at noon. We have people coming from as far away as Dallas. A friend of mine, Jared Atkinson, who's a big Ron Paul activist down there, he's flying in to D.C. for this. We have people all over the Eastern Seaboard driving in saying, all right, you want to make it about dancing? Let's dance. And they're throwing down, and this is the thing that's bringing people together. This is the thing that lays it bare, for which none of their propaganda, none of their arguments, none of their bullshit divide and conquer strategies, none of that is going to mean crap next Saturday. People are coming together to say, you can't tell us not to dance. Simple as that. And it's so beautiful to see how people are coming together about this. And it's all the videos that people are remixing for this. I mean, I told you, there's 2 other videos that have over 400,000 views. There's a dozen videos that are 100,000 views plus right now. People are reposting, you know, the interview I did with Russia Today yesterday. It's really amazing how this is getting around, and people are quoting Gandhi now, saying, you know, from the movie. You know, they can break my bones, they can kill me, but when they do, all they will have is my dead body, but not my obedience. And when I got arrested, I was wearing, very deliberately, my Gandhi T-shirt. It had a Gandhi's portrait on it, and in the style of the Andre the Giant, obey, except underneath it says, disobey.
Well, Adam, that's my point, is that the tyranny has gotten so absurdist now that the Texas tyrants did the smart thing and didn't arrest us because they knew it would lead to a chain reaction. Yep. The D.C. tyrants did did the wrong thing, and it's now going to backfire. High noon, the Jefferson Memorial, it's a genius idea.